In this lesson, we will learn about IPv6 Modified EUI 64. Let's get started with answering the question, what is Modified EUI 64? Modified EUI 64 stands for Modified Extended Unique Identifier 64. It is a set of rules to generate 64-bit interface ID from 48-bit MAC address of a network interface. The interface ID is then combined with the prefix ID to create a unique IPv6 address to assign to the network interface. As you can see, EUI64 simplifies the IPv6 assignment since the only required information is the prefix ID of the network. Let's now talk about EUI64 rules. As soon as being configured with EUI64, the router will extract 48-bit MAC address from the network interface, then split it into two halves. It then inserts FFFE into the middle, making it a 64-bit number. Reading from left to right, it inverts the 7-bit. The final number is the interface ID. Let's now verify EUI configuration on the interface F00 of IT Life Skills Router 1 using these three commands. The first command shows us the EUI configuration on the interface F00. Let's do it. Show, run, and then we filter for the section interface and hit enter. As you can see, on the interface F00, we configure IPv6 address with EUI64 configuration. The second command will show us the MAC address of the interface F00. Let's do it. Show interface F00, then hit enter. And here is the MAC address of the interface F00. The third command shows us the current IPv6 on the interface F00. Let's do it. Show IPv6 interface brief, then hit enter. And here is the IPv6 configured with EUI64 on the interface F00 on IT Life Skills Router 1. Let's use EUI64 rules to figure out how IT Life Skills Router 1 generates the interface ID of the IPv6 address on the interface F00. Here is the 64-bit prefix ID configured on the interface F00. Since it is configured with EUI64, the router will extract the MAC address of the interface F00, then split it into two halves. It then inserts FFFE into the middle, making the number a 64-bit number. Next, it will invert the 7-bit. Since the number is in hexadecimal, so reading from left to right, the 7-bit is in the second number, and it is 2 in this case. Now we convert 2 into binary, and it is 0010. The 7-bit is 1 in this case, which is inverted to 0. The binaries are now all 0, which is also 0 in hexadecimal. Now the EUI 64 process is completed, and this is the interface ID generated by EUI. The interface ID together with the prefix ID will give us the IPv6 configure on the interface F00 of IT Life Skills Router 1. To perform bit inversion faster, let's use a shortcut. First, we need to create a box containing numbers from 0 to 3. It starts with 0 in the top left corner, then 1, 2, and 3, like this. This box gives us the rule to invert from 0 to 2 and 2 to 0. Similarly, it gives us the rules to invert from 1 to 3 and 3 back to 1. Since the inversion for the hexadecimal, so we need 3 more boxes like this, so we can invert any numbers in the hexadecimal. As you can see, we can easily memorize these boxes to perform the inversion much quicker. Now let's work on another example. Here is the prefix ID and here is the MAC address. Now we need to insert FFFE into the middle of the MAC address. Then we need to invert the 7-bit. In this case, it is 0. From the first box, we can easily invert 0 to 2, and we have the interface ID like this. The interface ID together with the prefix ID gives us the IPv6